Are y'all feminists or no?
Yeah.
Yes, because it would be a little bit weird to like be a woman and not care
I mean,
about women's rights. At this point, if you're like putting down other people to bring yourself up, it's not the same. We're trying to be equal. There's no point in trying to like.
True.
Okay. Would you agree that it's okay to put somebody down if it's accurate with how things are? My position is people should be rewarded for their potential, which would be against feminism because feminism kind of just gives women more. Basically, it's not equivalent to their like potential, if you know what I mean, what they're given, the resources. It gives equal opportunity, even though that they may perform less.
But why do you think women perform less?
Why do I think so? This is kind of sexist, but
Yeah, I was gonna say it
the
sounds like
biology. Yeah, the biology and also personal choice. They tend to choose more like useless careers than men.
that. I mean, I think that really depends on which career you're looking at because I think some
Okay.
women dominate a certain career and some men may dominate a different
Well,
career.
we can actually have data for this, objective data. I'm pretty sure in most field of studies careers, the top performers are all men.
By top performers, you mean like
Like who does the best in what they do. So if men can rise to that level better, then they should be given more opportunities than women for pragmatic purposes. That sounds kind of sexist, but I just really care about maximum, trying to get the maximum you can of a society in terms of how they perform and how they elevate their nation. Yeah.
okay.
But honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I have no personal opinion. Like, I'm not really political, but if I was to pick a position off of a pragmatic standpoint, that's what I would pick. But yeah, that's all.
I know there's a big negative connotation behind like
right,
feminists
where
now,
it's like,
where you think of this raging woman that's like, "Fuck men, hate
Yo, I'm
men,
dead.
like men
Yeah.
should die,
Yo.
women are on top." Like that, there's that idea, but that's not feminism.
Yeah.
Y'all want to have like a deeper talk on this? Like, I'm gonna ask you a question, right? I'm very systematic in how I analyze stuff, right? So when I see feminism, I'm seeing its sociological impact, and I can really see it being mostly negative, and I can explain why. So the traditional design of operating, this aligns most with the biology, if that makes sense. And when you align with the biology, society overall, they basically perform as they were meant to perform. When you kind of deviate from the biology in a way, which is kind of like what feminism is doing, not to be sexist, it has a lot of sociological detriments, and these can include men and women kind of clashing, not really just like getting along, like just like that. Like there's no connection just like that. It's more like ambiguous. That's one. And number two, the house not being as stable because the mother may not be as there for the child, etc. And then three, women given equal opportunity despite that men can perform better. So if anything, they can become a liability in, let's say, in like the army. But many sociological detriments from this. So what do you have to say to that?
So do you believe that women
Yeah.
should have less rights or less opportunities?
Yeah, and do you remember like what I said earlier about the pragmatic thing?
Yeah.
If I applied to that, yes, that would be more logical. That would be more valid, yeah.
Okay. If you had to like take away rights or some kind of opportunity, what would you take away from women? Like, what would it be that you think needs to change for women's rights to stop that from happening?
All women are evaluated for like, I don't know how you can scientifically do this, but if you can, you evaluate pure potential and like real desire for what you want to do in your life. And the women that mark the highest in the beneficial fields, then maybe they can be allowed to enter the same domain as men. For those that rank low, which is going to be very typical, they stay at home and they live a more traditional kind of lifestyle. This will preserve the stable household where the children are raised well and they don't become crazy. That's resolved. And yeah, that actually resolved everything else. The army thing I said. Yeah.
Okay. So, you think women should like stay home?
If they're not up to par, which is a very
Okay,
small
so
minority of women, so yeah.
if we take your logic of like how like the male dominated fields and stuff like that, the most dominated fields by women is healthcare, education, and administration. Do you think they should be taken out of that if they're the best performing in
Okay.
those fields? Do you think those are not? I think healthcare and education are probably the top two most like important fields.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
that's
children.
actually already within the format of my thing. I said if they're up to par. So they're up to par in that sense, so they can remain in the list.
So they would just stay home, not work. What do they do if they don't have a male figure in their life then those women in that family would suffer from not having an income, not having money, and that's all because they don't have a male figure in their life, which then forces women, those type of women,
Um,
to find a male figure that can support them financially, which then can lead to abuse.
okay, so the only like kind of valid point you said there was the abuse part. What you said at the beginning, I
No,
was
not just physical abuse.
yeah,
There's a
yeah,
lot of
sure. No, no. I'm aware.
manipulation.
Yeah. I'll get to that in a bit, but like what you said about not having a man to provide for you, they can get a man, you know? If they don't want to get a man, that's their fault. That's that. Like, no offense. And yeah,
Well,
so now for the abuse, can you clarify physical, emotional, psychological?
yeah. So if a woman, hypothetically, literally has no way of income, they are going to have to find a man in this sense to be able to support themselves because
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
no way of income. So they're going to beg any man to take them. This man knows that they need him. This will make it common because it is a common thing. And this is why it was a problem back then whenever women couldn't work and couldn't have jobs, that he'll take advantage of the fact that he knows that
Or I understand. Can I summarize? Like, they would be basically stuck in abuse. And if they leave, then they're stranded, right? Something like that.
yes, but I'm not even talking necessarily he's like hitting her and shit. It's
Yeah,
just like
but the thing is, like, we're presuming abuse. Like, what is the rate? Like, what is the rate of abuse? I think it's very low. I don't think it's common.
I don't I don't know. If we were talking just physical, I have
Like
no
in
idea.
if you're saying rate of abuse in
Okay,
what?
let's actually do this structurally. So, for physical abuse, I know this is very rare. Men don't really hit women. That I know. For the verbal one, like calling her, I would say that's probably common, but like what effects does it actually have? How does a woman's bad mental well-being impact society? I don't even think that it's actually a problem for women's mental well-being to be detrimented. You know, the mental well-being of a woman doesn't impact society.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What do we do about the men that aren't up to par either? Are they also the same situation?
Oh, they're cooked. They're homeless, straight up.
Okay,
Homeless,
so it's
bro.
the same situation. It's not even necessarily women, men, but in general, everyone has to reach this par and
And by the way, this is all under a pragmatic standpoint where like comfort and happiness is not really prioritized. The main priority is performing the best you can in your nation and upgrading the nation. That's like the main priority. So under that standpoint, yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then the men that cannot work, they also suffer from not making an income and
Yeah. They're
they
just go
are
homeless.
in some type of abusive relationship. Vice versa, the woman or whatever takes advantage of them
Mm.
because she's financially stable.
Then that doesn't matter either.
I
Does that
don't
not make
think
him
that's
being
a woman does not want to be with a guy that makes less than her. That's like not
Well,
even
That's
in
not
this-
true. There's a lot of cases where women are the breadwinner.
those relationships don't last, bro.
you're saying extremely rare?
Yes, bro.
I think it's
Very
common
common.
that women may want their husband to make more than them, but it's not rare for the wife to also make more than the husband.
It's rare for them to make significantly more than the husband and for it to last. That's 100% rare. No doubt.
But in this like hypothetical world, that's the only choice people have. So it's like
They can go homeless, man, you know? That's how things work. It's doggy dog world, bro.
so then you're saying it's kind of like natural selection. The
Pretty
people that
much.
are able to work and be really productive, they
Productive.
live, make money, can eat, all of that, and the people that cannot just die
Yeah.
inside of the
And by the way, this is under a pragmatic standpoint. This standpoint is not my opinion. It's just like I would pick it if anything.
Okay,
But yeah.
right.